Assets are information collected and/or accessed in the administration of CDA programs and services, including but not limited to the following: hard copy information assets, for example, reports, notes, and forms; electronic information assets, which include but are not limited to the following: computers, laptops, cell phones, printers, and scanners; network servers, switches, and routers; storage media, hard drives, flash drives, and cloud storage; data, applications, and databases. It is everyone's responsibility to protect CDA information assets by complying with operational policies and procedures, integrating security practices into daily routines, and reporting security incidents immediately. The basic privacy law that applies to all state agencies is the Information Practices Act of 1977. This law sets the requirements for agencies on the management of personal information. The Information Practices Act defines personal information as any information that is maintained by a department that identifies or describes an individual. The broad definition includes information such as the following: name, social security number, physical description, home address, home telephone number, education, financial matters, medical or employment history. The Information Practices Act allows agencies to collect only the personal information they are legally authorized to collect. It gives individuals the right to see their own records and to request that any errors be corrected. It also requires agencies to establish appropriate and reasonable administrative, technical, and physical safeguards to protect personal information from a wide spectrum of threats and risks such as unauthorized access, use, disclosure, modification, or destruction. The Information Practices Act interacts with the Public Records Act. The Public Records Act makes most state records open to the public, with certain exceptions. The Information Practices Act requires protecting personal information, even when it is part of a record that is open to the public. That's why state agencies routinely redact or otherwise delete personal information before releasing public records. Check with your public information officer or legal office when responding to requests for information pursuant to the Public Records Act. There are penalties for violating the Information Practices Act, both for a department, which may be sued, and for an employee, who may be disciplined. An individual may bring a civil action against a department that violates the Information Practices Act if the violation results in an adverse impact on the individual. An employee who intentionally violates the act may be subject to disciplinary action, including termination. An employee who willfully obtains a record containing personal information under false pretenses may be guilty of a misdemeanor, with a penalty of up to a $5,000 fine and up to 1 year in prison. The Social Security Number Confidentiality Act seeks to protect against identity theft using social security numbers. With a name and a social security number, an identity thief can open new credit accounts and commit other financial crimes in the victim's name. Therefore, this law applies to state agencies and to other entities in California by prohibiting the public posting or display of social security numbers. It also specifically prohibits a person or entity from doing any of the following: printing a social security number on identification membership cards, requiring an individual to transmit his or her social security number over the internet unless the connection is secure or the number is encrypted, mailing documents with social security numbers to an individual unless required by law, and requiring an individual to use his or her social security number to access a website unless a password is also required.